The following programme is being transmitted in stereo. For the optimum results, we suggest that you have 2 speakers. One in Chipping Sodbury, the other in Cowden Beath. And if you then take up a position between the 2 on the A614 near Goole, you may be lucky enough to miss the Ken Dodd Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is no cause for alarm. It's only Ken Dodd. Only Ken Dodd? What am I saying? Help! Wait for me!
Thank you! Hi there, funny folk. Are you feeling funny? Yeah! Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our surprise and shock show. What a beautiful day for filling your wife's tights with snooker balls and saying, by Jove, Gladys, it's time you did something about those varicose veins. Think of the ancient philosopher who stood on the peak of Mount Everest and said, we must always learn to expect the unexpected. He was run over by a steamroller. Shock. That's our subject today, folks. One of the famous men and women who have shocked the world. Men like the German musician Wilhelm von Wind, who invented the flute and then threw it away because it was full of holes. Archimedes shouting, Eureka, I found it, in his bath. And his wife shouting back, and about time, too. Nor must we forget Einstein, who discovered that time travels in a circle when he caught his braces on Big Ben. Shock, folks, shock can take many forms. You can get a shock when you take off flimsy nylon underwear, especially if you find a big hairy navvy underneath it. There's the shock of waking up and finding a shrunken human head on the pillow beside you. You say to the wife, by Jove, Alice, I'd lay off those slimming tablets if I were you. Surprises and shocks. I want you to close your eyes, and I'll give you all a surprise. Right? Close your eyes. Right? Now open them again. Did you see it, missus? It's your own fault for having your eyes shut. I've just been given a big surprise. This letter has just come from the BBC.
Oh, hard lines, Ken. But it was bound to happen, wasn't it?
What are you talking about?
Well, you have got the push, haven't you?
As a matter of fact, it's an offer for a television series.
Oh, wonderful.
My last TV series was very highly rated. In fact, the BBC said I was responsible for the sale of 2 million television sets.
Well, I sold mine.
Actually, ladies and gentlemen, I am very highly thought of by the BBC. The head of the BBC himself thanked me personally for my services. He said he's never seen his shoes as clean.
Hey, Ken, what you need is a gimmick.
A gimmick? Oh, I do need a gimmick.
Oh, yes, she's right, Ken. I mean, you're too nondescript.
Nondescript?
We'll take away those teeth, that crazy hair, that maniac stare, and you're just like any normal person.
What I really need is a show tailored to suit my own personality.
You mean like the wooden tops?
Of course, Ken, you could do something really different.
Like being funny?
Guest artists, that's what I need. Hang on, though. What if I say something wrong in front of the television cameras?
Well, you can always be edited.
Yes?
You can tell 20 jokes and then they cut the bad ones out.
He doesn't know 20 jokes.
Hey. Well, that means 2 boxes of Christmas crackers, then. By Jove, edited, eh? I've often wondered why they tell one joke in a brown suit and then they tell the other one standing on one leg in a green suit from the other side of the studio.
I cracked it, boy.
I warned you would one of these days. I mean, why not? What do we want? What we really want is a different show. Why not do something different today? Do something you'd never usually dream of doing, like having a bath or kissing your mother-in-law. Go out in the street in nothing, wearing nothing but an orange sombrero, a pair of frilly bloomers, and a kipper under each arm. You'll meet scores of new acquaintances. They'll all be locked in the same room as you. Strap a clock to each side of your granddad's head and tell the doctor he's showing signs of alarm. It's a joke! It's a joke! It's only a little joke. Start making sure that your husband gets a quick peck before he goes to work in the morning. Shove a hand down the front of his trousers. And lads, sleep the wrong way up in bed. That's it. Give the wife a shock when she turns to kiss you goodnight. I'm going to really shock you with some startling innovations in the world of entertainment.
Well, what are you going to do?
I'm going to wrestle a 50-stone gorilla in a tub of warm olive oil.
Pull yourself together, man. Why?
It's good for your back.
What, wrestling a gorilla?
No, warm olive oil. Then I'm going to take all my clothes off and lie on a bed of nails.
Ah, but that's been done before.
But not face down. Now, something for the children.
Oh, Winnie, is that you? Oh, God, blimey, Winnie. What a pong.
Oh, Willie.
That was an excerpt from Winnie the Pooh. Time, funny folks, to open our suggestion box with our odd listeners' odd suggestions. Here we are. And our first letter is from a Mr. Pimblett. A Mr. Pimblett from Bishop Stortford writes,
I suggest that all our policemen should be allowed to have lightning conductors stapled onto the tops of their helmets. This should give them safety and protection during thunderstorms.
Well, I think this is a good idea, because when they get struck by lightning, it'll come in handy for charging criminals. Criminals, I say. This next letter is from a vicar's wife who says, I think that the bosses of the BBC should put the television licenses up. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to read the next couple of words. A Mrs. Shuttleworth writes from Crewe,
I think it'd be an excellent idea if people started making more use of Britain's waterway system.
Well, I do very often.
Yes, to take the volume of traffic
I see.
off our severely overcrowded highways
Yes, well, I've always...
and byways.
Yes, I've always thought that was a good idea.
Oh, I could open your eyes.
Well, Mrs. Shuttleworth, this seems to be a good idea on the face of it, but I once tried using a canal instead of a motorway. I'd only got a couple of yards when my car sank to the bottom, the engine went, and I ended up with my trousers full of tittlers.
Oh.
Here is a paradox. A paradox, you say? It's a paradox. It's a jaw. It's a little duck jaw. It's a little Here is a message for people who are not concerned about the population explosion.
Keep it up!
Here is a message for all pigeon fanciers.
You kinky devils!
Everybody's sex mad these days. I mean, why can't we play the banjo instead?
Well, I've got plenty of pluck.
Oh, darling, give me a quick...
Stop it, you brute!
But I love you, Daphne.
Dare you, you animal!
Oh, it's no use, darling. I'm crazy for you. By Jove, I needed that.
Stop it!
You filthy young devil. I've told you before about keeping that thing in its case. You'll have to wed my daughter now, by heavens you will.
You might even have X-films featuring continental banjoists.
Hey, Dad, I don't know where to look. He's never had his banjo out of his hand. He's forever showing his banjo off.
And he's using his plectrum as well. Oh, I say, Mother, look at him. Giving that barmaid a quick burst of Carolina in the morning. Hello. Don't look, Mother. Don't look. There's going to be an orgy.
An orgy?
Aye. Here comes the Big Ben Banjo Band.
Yes?
Are you Mr. and Mrs. Bloggs of 36 Slagshaw Crescent?
No, they live next door.
Oh, then I'll have to arrest you. They're out.
What's the charge?
No charge at all. I do it all free, madam. Now then, I'm the local knacker, and I've come to look at your television set.
Our television?
Yes, mine's broken. I see it's not working.
Well, it went wrong last night.
Lots of people went wrong last night, madam. I think it's something you put in the bread. I see it's got a touch of the Albert Tatlocks.
How can you tell?
Well, it's wearing a flat hat and it's drinking a glass of rum. The braces are a little tight. Can you pick up panorama?
Oh, yes.
Very strong, some of these tellies. Do you get continental interference?
No.
Oh, you should. I'll send a Frenchman round tomorrow morning.
Well, actually, it developed a fault when it cut off the top of Robin Day's head.
I wouldn't call that a fault, sir. No, it's got a syndrome.
A syndrome?
Yeah, it's one of those big places where they roller skate in the nude. Well, there's nothing I can do tonight. But take these long-nosed pliers and grope about a bit in the back when the Prime Minister's on.
Will that cure it?
No, but it won't half make the Prime Minister's eyes water.
I know that someday you'll want me to want you when I'm in love with somebody else. You expect me to be true and keep on loving you. Why I'm feeling blue, you think I can't forget you until someday you'll want me to want you when I am strong for somebody new. And though you don't want me now, I'll get along somehow. Then I won't want you. I know that someday, baby, you'll want me, maybe to want you. When I'm in love with somebody else, you expect me to be true and keep on loving you. Though I'm feeling blue, you think I can't forget you until someday maybe you'll want me, maybe to want you. When I am strong for somebody new. And though you don't want me now, I'll get along somehow. Then I won't want you. And then I won't want you.
Are you getting plenty? A guide to Social Security benefits.
Did you know that if you and your wife have 25 children or more, you're entitled to a medal? Mind you, with 25 kids, I should think you've had more than your fair share of meddling.
Did you know anybody who was in the charge of the Light Brigade is entitled to ask for a new balaclava? You won't get it, but you're entitled to ask for it.
Well, now, under a new scheme set up by the National Health, anyone is entitled to have unsightly moles, spots, warts removed free of charge. Just leave them in the backyard and the bin men will come and shift them.
Did you know? Did you know that women who have busts of 50 inches or over are entitled to a free hammock?
Elderly Scottish spinsters living in the wet Highland region are entitled to a Macintosh every 6 months. Or, if they prefer it, a Macpherson every 8 weeks.
Men over 90, men aged 90 or over with wives under 25 are entitled to some special relief. Of course they are. Just send your name and address it to me and I'll pass them on to Talfryn Thomas.
And there's something for men who like having their oats on the move. A free nose bag. And if you've got skin as tough as leather, you're now entitled to go to your doctor and he'll give you something for it. A free tin of dubbin.
And now, the Ken Dodd Theatre of Romance.
Oh, darling.
Yes, darling.
Happy.
Very.
Do you remember our first meeting? I was all alone.
How could I forget? It was like a vision.
Our eyes met. You stood there on the doorstep. The early morning sun glinted on your hair. Oh, hold me close.
Darling.
How long is it now?
Pardon? Darling?
How long have we been together?
Oh, I don't know, darling. About 3 months.
3 glorious, wonderful months. Oh, darling, will you ever leave me?
Well, I must.
No, darling, say it isn't true. Why? Why must you go?
Well, I've been thinking it's about time I took the milk float back. They'll be worrying what's happened to me back at the depot.
Well, pint of bitter, please, landlord.
Certainly, sir.
Ah, by gum, I'm spitting feathers, by Jove.
there you
That
are.
looks good. Ah, here goes. Down the hatch.
Whoa.
Aye.
Just put that pint back on the bar, will you, sir?
Aye, what for?
Well, it hasn't been tested yet, sir. Weights and measures, you know. Routine check. Just give it to me.
Well, I've just paid for that.
Yes, I know, but my chief tester here will examine it. Now, then you can have it back. Archie! Oh, we did it a minute ago.
Look, excuse me, but why are you looking in your top pocket?
Well, he always travels in my top pocket. Archie, come out, you little jockey. Rat.
Rat. It's a frog.
It's a frog to you, sir, but to the weights and measures department, he's the best beer tester we've ever had, aren't you, Archie? Rat.
Ah, but look now, how can he test the beer then?
Well, you see, sir, I dangle him, you see, on the end of this piece of string. I dangle him into your ale on the end of this piece of string, like this.
Hey, yeah! You've dropped that flippin' filthy frog in my beer.
No, sir. Official tester, weights and measures. I'll just let him splosh about a bit under the surface there. Just look at his little legs go. Hello. 3 tugs on the string.
Well, but what does that mean?
It means he's drowning. Come up you come, Archie. Come on.
Well. Look here now, this is ridiculous, man. How can a frog know whether the beer is good or not?
Well, I'll just ask him. Just calm down, sir. Just calm down. Now then, Archie, what do you think of this gentleman's beer? Rat. Well done, lad. He says that pint of beer is definitely not fit for human consumption.
What? Why not?
Why not? It's just had a dirty great frog swimming around it, hasn't it?
No!
Come on, Archie, I'll buy you a decent pint in the lounge bar.
What the... Get out there!
No one likes to receive bad news, but we just have to cope. Things must go on.
I want you to be brave, Mother.
Is it?
Aye. It's the budgie. He's got himself into trouble.
Trouble with the bird next door.
Worse than that. With a flipping vulture.
Hey, Dad, after all we've done for it, what are we going to do?
What can we do? Stand by it, of course. We have to get rid of the cat, alter a bigger cage, and get the builder to drop in 1/2 ton of sand. The shame of it. The only house in the street with a baby vulture.
Can't we have it adopted?
Adopted? Who the heck wants a bald-headed budgie 3 feet tall?
Do you reckon it'll settle down, Dad?
I don't know, Mother. I don't mind telling you. I'm very worried about our little bird.
It'll be all right, won't it?
I hope so. But I reckon there'll be tears in its eyes on the day.
Why, Dad?
Have you seen the size of a vulture's egg?
Today we have the television to bring us the news. But what of our ancestors? How did they communicate? It wasn't easy for them, having to struggle along without paper.
I say.
So they had to use tablets of stone instead.
By Jove.
Dear Mavis, I'm afraid this will come as a shock. But could you please make your letters shorter? The postman is suffering from a double hernia.
And meanwhile, in Bavaria, the famous German inventor Hans Kohl was working on a new way of bringing the news.
Was ist das, Hans?
Ach, I have perfected the radio telegraph, Gerda.
Yeah.
With this invention, we shall rule the world. I tap out the message on this key, so. And it is received by my comrade, Professor Stumpf, in Prussia, who will then answer me like this.
Wunderbar, Hans.
Wunderbar.
But was ist he saying?
What is he saying? He is saying, Doddy, da, 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 di, 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 di.
In times of war, many nations relied on carrier pigeons to communicate with their frontline troops.
By Jove, Carruthers, the Huns have got us surrounded. We're down to our last 10 rounds.
We can still break out and pull back if we receive permission from headquarters, sir.
I'm afraid it... Just a moment. There's a bird fluttering overhead.
Oh.
It's a carrier pigeon.
Good Lord.
Battling its brave little way through shot and shell. It's coming lower.
Gad, yes, sir. I wonder if it has a message from headquarters. Yes, sir.
It's a blasted German bird.
During 2 great world wars, giant fleets were locked in battle. Sometimes the flickering of a tiny signal lamp was their only means of communication.
Oh, dear. Good heavens. We've lost the rest of the fleet in all this smoke. Hello. There's a strange vessel steaming towards us from the middle of that wreckage. Ask them for their call sign, signaller. Uh-huh. Well, they've seen us. I can see their lamp winking. What do they say?
Hello, sailor.
So you see, folks, you can have shocking news and surprising news. And I've got some news for you.
What is that?
Now, brothers and sisters, as you know, I am your duly elected representative, right? Right? Now, we say we work under shocking conditions, right?
Right.
And we want a shocking pay rise, right? Right, well, I've taken it right to the top. I've been right to the top of the BBC, and I've told the BBC straight about our conditions and what we want.
And what's the result, Comrade Ken?
Well, the result is...
Right.
You've all got the sack as from next week.
You have been listening to the amazing Ken Dodd Show. Heading on Monster Cast was Ken Dodd with his leg in plaster. The creature that crept in from Caerphilly was Talfryn Thomas. Gretchen Franklin was a scream as Dracula's daughter, and Chris Emmett was horsing about as the groom. Pharaoh's mummy, Joe Manning Wilson, was very wrapped up in her part, and Pharaoh's daddy, Michael McClain, has never had his flabber so gasted. The sensational series was devised by Ken Dodd, written in blood by Norman Beedle, David Dutton, David McKeller, Phillip, and John Pye, and the entire shocking show was produced by Bobby, I'm panicking already, Jaye!